Well, hello. I bet you're wondering where my daughter is. She said she was getting water. But anyway, Imani.
Yes.
Oh.
Stop yelling my name like that.
All right. Well, it started.
Okay. I have to get a straw. You go and toss these people.
Hi, Sunny7740. You missed these family chats. And Charlene. Good night. Good night. It's Monday. Yeah. Hi, Barbara.
Sorry. Are you still sitting on a pillow?
I have to sit on a pillow because I don't have a big butt.
Oh, God. Okay.
And because I don't have a big butt, then I end up down here next to you.
Do you like big butts, though?
Who doesn't like a big butt?
Well, I cannot lie.
Right.
You other brothers can't deny.
Wow.
When around things in your face, you get sprung. Big up to Sir Mix-a-Lot.
I was going to say that was somebody's lyrics.
Yeah, also big up to Sir Mix-a-Lot because I really didn't know that Black people lived in Seattle like that. Like when he came out. Also, big up to my Potsy's on Broadway because that's my jam from back in the day. It is.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Where's Idris? Well,
he
was here.
He got a new monitor for his video game, so
he was here. He went upstairs. I think he went to put on pants and he's coming down.
Maybe, or he's not. Okay. So, hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. Is everyone as excited
my shirt
as I am? Yes, your shirt. Come on.
Kamala Harris.
She wears a Kamala Harris shirt every day.
No, not every day.
Yes,
not true.
Every day. It's very true.
I have a collection from when she was running for president. This one's a hoodie. It's very cute.
Now your hair is gonna look like.
It's okay. It's a fluff.
Okay. It's yeah. Okay.
It's a fluff.
So hi everybody. So let's see. Oh, first of all, shouts out to Sinbad who had a stroke or something.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah. I hope he recovers well.
Yeah. I mean, plus we don't know if it was, was it a cerebrovascular accident, which is, not great? Was it a transient ischemic attack?
What is it? What is a transient? Oh, I know that's a regular old stroke.
Well, transient ischemic attack are like mini strokes. Like you can have them and not be aware of them. A cerebrovascular accident or a CVA
is a big one.
That's a big one, right? So I don't know the extent of it. Just like when people be on the news and they're like, so and so's in critical condition. I don't know what that means as a doctor. I've never had anyone debrief me on rounds and be like, so-and-so is in critical condition or so-and-so is in stable condition. I'm like, I don't like that's more so for the public. I don't know what that means. So anyway, let's see. We have some topics to discuss. So we already said shouts out to Sinbad. Let's see. President Barack Obama says he isn't planning on joining Biden's cabinet. And
why would he?
Yeah, why would he? I don't know. I mean, I guess people were kind of, I don't know, expecting that. I don't know.
Presidents don't take a lesser role in another president's cabinet.
But also, so if Trump lost, can he actually run again in 2024?
Sure, he can.
Oh, okay.
You can only do 2 consecutive terms, but you can be reelected once there's a break.
I'm not a presidential historian, so I don't really know if that has happened, but
it has not happened.
Yeah, he doesn't have any money anyway, so whatever.
But these people will be giving him money.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I just saw this story on The Root about there was this woman, this nurse on CNN, I think it was today, and she is a nurse, and so she works in South Dakota, and she was saying that there are people who are like, well, I don't have COVID because, Trump got better and, I must have lung cancer or it's probably pneumonia. And she said something like, once you intubate them, they stop screaming at you. It's like, what are y'all on?
Well, that's a way to keep them quiet.
I mean, it is. But I was just like, wow, y'all are that out of touch and delusional that you just can't you can't concede, not just to the election, but the fact that COVID is actually a real thing. So they're basically like, I can't breathe, but I know it's not COVID because Trump told me that it don't exist. You all are people are very delusional. Even people that you think are sane can be very delusional and delude themselves into anything. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so Biden Harris 2020. So Biden won the election. It's over. Sorry to everybody, including you Black Republicans who refuse to admit it. Also, Fox News has officially turned on Trump, which is really funny. So Biden had 306 electoral votes to Trump's 232. There's some recount in Georgia, but it's too late now. Wait, this says that Trump acknowledged that Biden won in a tweet, only to later tweet that he will not be conceding the election was rigged and that he won the election. I mean, he's a malignant narcissist. What are you going to do?
I'm so tired of talking about him.
Okay, well, fine.
Are there questions about?
No, I'm just like, you know.
Oh, you're doing an update, a commentary on present events.
Do you remember Shine? You remember that rapper Shine back in the day in New York? Okay, remember when, wait, that was Loon. Remember when there was the thing where Puff Daddy or Diddy now, something happened, something happened in the club when he was with J-Lo and there was a gun involved. Mm-hmm. Right. So Loon, who was a rapper who I used to like, he's in prison because hanging out with Puffy apparently will end you up in prison for so I'm saying all this because
J-Lo didn't go to prison.
No, but you know what J-Lo did? She testified and the next day she was like, change number. She was like, no, I'm the complexion for the connection. I cannot be associated with you.
And then after that, didn't she go to the white actor guy?
Yes. And then what's his name? I don't really like
Ben
him.
Something?
Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
She remade him. His poor friends were like, you're totally bitch made now because he was he ended up being the what was it, most beautiful person of the year or something in People magazine. His friends was like, you look like a herb. You need to stop messing with this girl.
This dude's from Boston.
And I'm sorry for anybody who's from Boston. I just don't acknowledge.
That's one of the most racist cities in.
The only thing I acknowledge about Boston that's good is New Edition.
Yeah.
So sorry. So look at this. Did you guys know that fans have started a petition to have LeVar Burton be the new host of Jeopardy?
Yes, I've been signing the petition.
That's so awesome.
Signing the petition.
I'm so excited. That's so awesome. I love LeVar Burton.
I love LeVar Burton.
I've met him once before. He was really nice.
He's very nice.
He did a little intro for my podcast before it came out. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh my God, I made it.
You know who I met him? Where I met him with Adela Shabazz, with Miss Shabazz, Malcolm X's eldest daughter.
Where are y'all at? No, it's not.
Speaker at a luncheon.
It's not Sesame Street. It's Reading Rainbow, but close.
Yeah, he was Reading Rainbow guy.
I love LeVar Burton. He's so nice.
Geordi.
The blind navigator from Star Trek. So there's over 75,000 signatures. LeVar Burton said, even if nothing comes from it, I can't tell how much I appreciate all y'all's love and support. Yeah. Which is really, really nice. Okay, into white people news. Serena Williams, his husband, says she definitely taught him what a washcloth was.
Alexis Ohanian. She taught him because they like to wash with their hands.
Yeah, this was a whole Twitter thing a few years ago. White people were like, why do they give you washcloths? Something like, why do they give you washcloths in a hotel room? And Black people was like, why would they not? What are you washing your body with? And they were like, my hands and soap. So you're just gonna put the soap on your body? That's disgusting.
And then they put it on their face.
Then they put it on their genitals.
And then they put it on the sink. So people coming behind them could wash their hands.
Now you got butt soap.
I don't even use bar soap.
I don't either.
I don't know when. I only use liquid soap. I don't want people touching my soap.
When I was little, there was remember they would send samples of a product in the mail. Mm-hmm. And I remember I think we were still living in Syracuse or something. And I was like, what's pert? Like, because it was like a 2-in-1, like it's shampoo and conditioner. I was like, what's a pert? And I remember my dad was like, that's for white people. Like, don't worry about that. Like, that's gonna dry your hair out. Pert used to be the shampoo and conditioner together. And he was like, like, mm-mm. And Irish Spring, you know how many people, and I went to a black school, I went to Xavier, you know how many black dudes I had to be like, put the Irish Spring down. You're gonna dry out your skin.
Did they like Irish? Was there something about Irish Spring
that
made them buy it?
I'm not
what
sure.
Happened to Ivory and Dove?
Well, okay, so when before I left to go to school, when I was in Harlem, all my guy friends uptown would, like, that's when Pink Dove came out. So they was like, oh, I'm gonna use pink. Like, but a lot of dudes I knew used, yeah, it was like kind of like, oh, it's more gentle. Uh-huh. So a lot of dudes I knew would use Dove, but when Pink Dove came out, they were like, oh, level up. I don't know.
Wait, one of them had deodorant in it. Was it Irish Spring? Is that why dudes
Irish
were using
Spring smell? I mean, it's a big deodorant stick. I mean, it's like, oh, okay, I can tell that you use Irish Spring today.
Wait, Feeling Pinky won Washington Heights.
Yeah, because I said uptown.
Oh,
yeah.
Does Pinky live in Washington Heights? Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
Oh,
but big ups to Washington Heights.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me go back to, this washcloth situation. A viral tweet asked users, when showering, are you a full body washer or an armpits and genitals person only? I can't, y'all.
This is why I don't go to other people's houses. I don't like to sit on other people's upholstered.
Do you know, like, so there was this unofficial Twitter poll.
Because they're nasty.
Listen, there was this unofficial Twitter poll, and apparently white people are not washing the bottoms of their pots. I'm like, if you already there, just like, I mean, it's literally 5 seconds.
So when they stack them,
I don't know. It's so weird. It's so gross. Like, I don't even understand that. Charlene Gibbs King says President Grover Cleveland was the only president to leave the White House and run for a second term. Okay, thank you. I knew it was somebody. I just didn't know who it was.
4 years later. That's why I said you can do that.
This is gonna sound like a dumb question, but like, was Cleveland named after him?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just wondering. Yes, Feeling Pinky won. You do have to bring your own stuff. Like, it's rare that I'm traveling anywhere and I'm not bringing like my own, because I use black soap. I have liquid black soap. Does that mean
is Feeling Pinky saying she lives in?
No, she says you have to bring your own stuff with you.
To where?
Like, if you go into a hotel or you staying at somebody's house.
But what's the yes I do?
Yeah.
She living in Washington Heights?
I'm sure.
Oh, okay. Feeling Pinky has a question, but she didn't ask it.
She's about to.
My aunt had corn medication. So, of course, I poured it in her flower pot to see if it would grow corn. Jerry, that's so funny.
Oh, my God. Oh, good job.
Oh, my.
No, that's
funny.
That is funny. No, that's very funny. Okay, let's see. So,
I went to school in Washington Heights.
You did?
My grammar school, St. Rose of Lima.
Yeah, I thought you went
164th and Amsterdam Avenue.
Okay, so let me back up. This is why I was talking about Puffy, Puff Daddy or Diddy or whatever iteration of his name you want. Shine. Okay. So Shine, who is Belizean, was elected to Belize's House of Representatives.
Oh, shine on.
Yeah, and which is great because after he did his little prison bid for Puff, he went back home. And now he's like big nerd. He's like big nerd, and but it's good. I'm glad to see him doing well because
stuff for the people.
So many people, unfortunately, have succumbed to titties, influence, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
My brother went to George Washington High School.
Some of my friends went to George Washington High School.
That was our neighborhood high school.
My friend
Stitt Junior High School was a junior high school.
Aldrin, he was Dominican. Like, we used to work at the Valley together. Big ups to Manhattan Valley Youth Program. Aldrin went to George Washington. I've never been there to that high school, but I know where it is.
192nd.
Look at this. Shine's father, back to Shine, became Belize's first Black prime minister for the nation in 2008, a position he still holds. Wow.
So maybe maybe
A
Shine.
lot of nepotism, maybe, or not. Like, I don't want to assume
Meaning,
that.
maybe he probably, with his daddy being in the role that he's in, maybe he was politically active and alert. It's so when he was, what was he, rap or hip hop?
Both, like
Okay.
rap.
So when he was doing that, were his "Come here, girl, let me make love to you," or was he making political statements?
No, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't political statements. It was probably. I mean, what I recall was more like, I'm better than you. Maybe some like cocaine game, references. I honestly, like, I don't remember it like that. Like he had a nice he had a nice single. Do you guys remember? Wait. Okay, real talk. Do you guys remember there was this artist like back in the day? This is after Biggie died. And he was also dark skinned and kind of like overweight. And he actually came out with this song that I thought was on Bad Boy. It sounded just like a Biggie song. And it was like one track. And like, I remember seeing the video for it and like, that was it. But if y'all know who that is, I would search for it right now, but I'm doing this. And so it's going to be kind of distracting.
Charlene Gibbs King. I grew up in the Caribbean without washcloth.
But she used something like a loofah, something.
Well,
yeah, I mean, something.
Maybe not.
I don't know. I kind of think that she probably did.
All right. Well, she'll tell us.
Feeling Pinky says she lives near the George Washington, near George Washington.
Right.
Bridge or the school? I'm guessing the school.
She said she went to Martin Luther King.
Cheryl Lee, it wasn't Craig Mack. Close. I'm gonna find it later. It was one song, and they were like riding around, and they were like walking around a neighborhood, like no, not Chub. No, not Chub Rock. No. I'm gonna find it. Like it's a really obscure kind of. It's a really obscure kind of fact. It just popped into my head.
Was it a hit?
No, like it was like, oh, we're gonna release it in the summer, and it kind of came and went.
Okay.
Anyway. Oh, wait, hold on. Look, back to Shine. There's a lot of facts on here. Bye. So the former Bad Boy rapper Shine will be filling the seat of his uncle, Honorable Michael Finnegan. This sounds like very nepotic. Is that a word? Nepotismic. I don't know. But it sounds very well, you know what, Belize, big up to y'all.
It's a small place.
There's a lot of Jamaicans in Belize.
Yep.
Yeah. So I used to date this guy who was from Belize, and his dad was Chinese Jamaican, but and he was like, oh yeah, a lot of Jamaicans like
they
moved to Belize. There. Yeah. I was
Guyana,
like, okay.
When it was
I was like, whatever.
British Guyana.
Oh.
What was the other Guyana?
French.
I think so.
And yeah, French Guyana. Let's see. Oh, you know what, you guys? You know who's going to be on my podcast on Thursday? Well, it's my podcast, it's my show, but my mom is going to be is a very special episode.
Very special.
A very special episode, which means that we're probably talking about. I'm just kidding. Like that's what they would always say to like with a very special different strokes when Dudley got touched. Or like
who's Dudley?
Oh my God.
And who touched him?
The old white man. First of all, my mom hated that I watched Different Strokes.
I hated it.
But I watched it anyway. Anyway, whatever. I was like, I'm gonna watch it.
A rich man on the upper east side had two little black kids.
Yeah, because his friend was a football player. And that's obviously how they got out of the ghetto.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm dating myself, but yeah, like, do you remember like they would have these very special episodes? But that was one like this older white man was like, oh, hey, like, you know, it was like Stranger Danger, like, oh, I got some candy, you know, you should come with me. Like, I got Atari at my crib, and Dudley went over there. Dudley got touched, unfortunately. Dudley was Willis Arnold's little best friend. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Velvet voice. He worked at the bike store. Yep. I remember that. Do you remember on Good Times when Penny got burnt with the iron? Because you didn't watch Good Times. There's something wrong with you. Well, in real, So Penny's mom on Good Times
Was an alcoholic, a drug addict,
something, but like she was just a terrible person. But you know whose mom she is in real life? Kim Fields.
Whose mom she is
in real life. So the mom, Penny's mom from Good Times, is Kim Fields' mom in real life.
The actress.
Right. And then y'all remember when Walona, Larnie, Janet
Fields.
Jackson. Yeah, Janet Jackson did guest on Different Strokes. She was Willis's girlfriend. I do remember that. And then she sang her little song like it was like her first album. No, my bad, that was Fame, because she was also on Fame. I don't know why you don't know this.
Was it the 80s?
Yes.
I hated the 80s.
The 80s were awesome.
80s
You're
tripping. I hated the music of the 80s.
The music of the 80s was amazing. I don't even know what you're talking about. But okay, so that also means that what's up, Cleon?
Hi, Cleon.
That also means that you don't remember. So if you don't remember when Penny got burned with the iron.
Well, I do remember it because it was an episode about child abuse.
It's a very special episode of Good Time.
Did Walona step in and save her or something? That's what I remember. Right.
Okay, I believe this is true, but you guys can look this up. Okay, do you know who sang the Jeffersons theme song? Who?
Walona.
Yes, Walona did. Oh, you know what?
R.I.P.
Right, R.I.P. to Janae Dubois, who's also in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. I love Walona.
Fields was married to an NBCU colleague, and he's Hopper. Who was she married to?
Her husband. I remember her husband on Real Housewives of Atlanta.
And he's half what? Japanese?
I think
Hawaiian. He's Hopper.
Honestly, he could be like part Asian. I do like he was kind of nerdy.
Lonnie would know.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
Lonnie, answer it for us. I would love to know.
Chip Fields.
Chip Fields was Kim Fields' mother.
He worked in John X Group.
Oh.
I don't know who that is, but apparently she does.
Yeah.
Oh, see, look at us getting our gossip on.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was the engineering crowd.
No, Charlene Gibbs King said no, like in the Caribbean, it was hard soap in her hand. Damn, I'm sorry. I'm not about that life.
Well, that has a lot to do with what's available and the culture. Like when we were in China, and they weren't giving us, in the Chinese hotels, they don't give you washcloths. They do give you the hand towels. And I was all upset. So I travel to China sometimes with my own washcloth. And Roosevelt said, well, baby, just wash with the hand towel. I'm like, I'm not washing with the hand towel. And he said that there are people who use the hand towels to wash with, that they put soap on it, and that's how you get behind your back. And I said, I have never heard of that. And he's from New Orleans. He was like, what do you mean you never heard of it? I said, I have only ever washed with a loofah, scrubby,
right, or a washcloth. Right. Well, when we went to China, because I literally was acting like I was going camping. Like I brought so much stuff, but I brought my own scrubby thing, because I was like, like the hotels we stayed in were really nice. Really nice. The first one we stayed in was dope. Really? Oh God, it was so amazing.
It was starts with an R.
I don't remember. But when we got to Beijing though, I was like,
St. Regis.
Yes, we got to Beijing though. I had to go to the front desk. I was like, my room stinks. I'm sorry, I don't understand why.
Oh, we were in Beijing?
Yeah, and my two cousins, I was like, yo, come in here and tell me if I'm tripping. And they were like, no, it smells terrible. So I had to call downstairs, and they were like, we're sorry, but our hotel is all booked. I was like, that's funny, because I'm just gonna wait until you switch me to another room. Like, I'll just come downstairs and stare at your face until you get me like a new room, because this room smells like feet.
It must have been a Marriott.
It was something. It was fine.
I think that was booking us into a Marriott.
Yeah, it was all right. But the first hotel we stayed in, listen, like
it was the tallest building in
first of
Shenzhen
all,
at the time.
Chinese buildings are mad tall, and so you walk in on the first floor, like walk, and then it took you to the 75th. It takes you to the 75th floor, which was really kind of like
the lobby.
Right. The lobby is on like the bottom part, and then the rooms were above. So I think
Wait.
the
So
rooms
you
were
walked
above.
in,
You
get
take
on
the express elevator
to the 75th floor, and that's the lobby.
That's the lobby. And
Right.
then the rooms are above the lobby, which meant like the views were crazy. The views were like amazing. I didn't really know like what I was looking at, but it was really nice. But it was kind of weird sleeping that high.
It was a mixed building because the like floors 2 through 60 something
were people's houses.
No, it was offices, commercial offices.
Yeah. So anyway, it was kind of wild, but it was really nice, and the whole room was controlled with an iPad, and the gym floor was banging. It was so nice.
The food was good too.
Yeah, their food was, yeah. But you know what? Like me and Uncle Howard and Uncle Elric and Martin, we went to this restaurant in Beijing and had Peking duck. And this restaurant had their own like beer these huge vats. So I was like, I don't drink beer, but like it's mad fresh, so I drank some. And then we had Peking duck, and Peking used to be okay. So we had Peking duck, and Peking is I guess a former name of Beijing.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was good. I liked it. Honestly, I only went to China once. My mom has been a lot of times.
Like 25. Yeah.
I can only speak on when I went. I mean, I had a lot of fun. The food was interesting. But, honestly, I'm not really a big Chinese food person, even over here. Over there, I'd have to really.
Not Chinese food.
Yeah, no, it's completely
not
different.
What people here it's not what people here know
right.
as Chinese.
You're not going to be like General Tso's chicken. Yeah, you know what's unique to like the West Coast? I discovered with Chinese food. I was like, what is that? Walnut shrimp?
I know. I don't eat this in my food. I wouldn't have eaten that anyway.
Ugh. It's like, like I don't understand like the sweet and it's weird. It's really weird. I was like, why have these shrimp got nuts on it? Like I don't understand what's happening anywhere. Okay, a big up to you, Cheryl, because you have a handled scrub brush for your back.
But look at what she said.
What? 5G everywhere.
Oh, Greta Pilgrim. I use exfoliating
I used
gloves.
to too.
They're amazing. I use a washcloth for downstairs.
Okay. I mean, I used to have exfoliating gloves. I would use that for everywhere. Crevices and cracks and things. Jerry, Larnie, have I tried lychees? Of course. I love lychees. I love what are the lychees with the little like tentacles?
Rambutan.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But when I grew up, we called them lychee. And when I got to China is when
lychee.
It's lychee.
Yeah, because I'm like, let me get them lychees. They're like, you mean lychee? I'm like, listen. Okay, listen, Cheryl Lee. Okay, everybody, pause. Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap. I'm taking my glasses off.
You don't want to get it in your private part.
Oh my God. Oh
That's why
my
I
God.
stopped using it.
Like,
the Castile soap is one thing, but the peppermint soap, you don't want to use that.
Oh my God, it's a lot. Like I usually use the almond kinds, but I remember when we used to live in New York, we didn't have like an air conditioner in the house. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm using peppermint soap, so I take a shower in the morning. And this is back when they were doing work on Lenox Avenue. So we didn't have hot water for the majority of the day.
They were changing the water pipes.
So we had to get used to taking like, cold showers. So cold shower plus peppermint, Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap. I was like, it was so uncomfortable. But yeah, it would come in handy. Also, big up to everybody in New York who, in the summertime, when they get on the subway, on the train, they got like mad like powder marks on their bodies. I'm like, you can rub that in.
It was, I think when I was a girl, it was almost like a badge of honor to have all the powder sticking up all out of your clothes and everything.
I was like, well, okay.
All under here. It's like, you know what? we don't need to know that you are trying to keep down the funk and the stink. It's okay.
And you know what you also could do, honestly, and I did this when we got to China, because we were walking we were doing because somebody did the whole itinerary. We were going everywhere.
People in China walk all the time.
Yeah, but we also, someone else doesn't get jet lagged. Like, we were dying. The rest of my family, we were dying.
I don't get jet lag.
Yeah. Okay, great. So here's the thing. So I was like, well, all this walking and stuff, and the weather would be different. So when we went to Shenzhen to see our family, it was actually like temperate. We went to
LA.
Right. We went to Hong Kong, same thing. It's like an hour away. We went to Beijing. We got there. It said it was 12 degrees.
So
I was like, no.
So comparatively, like climate wise, Beijing is like Chicago.
Yeah, but
in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And Shenzhen and Hong Kong are like LA in the wintertime.
Guess who didn't go up the Great Wall?
You didn't go?
I went, but I was like, there were ice on the stairs.
The steps, yep.
I was like,
the steps were
this big.
Narrow. They were narrow because they've been around since.
And I guess the people were tiny back
Memorial,
then.
And the feet were tiny. So there you have, 6'3" black men
carrying babies.
I
was like, nah.
And I was so you go up the steps this way, but I turned my feet that way and crossed them over, so I wasn't going to be sliding down.
It was a mess. First of all,
it wasn't a mess.
It was a mess because listen, like first of all, you don't have to know how to walk on ice. Then you have to know how to walk on ice on stairs, which if you're from New York is very helpful. But like, what if you're not?
And everybody else was from Chicago. Everybody else in the family was
Listen,
New York and Chicago.
You know what I did? I went to the gift shop and I was like, let me get some tea, and I got some snacks and I bought a bracelet. I was like, I'm gonna wait for y'all because I'm not doing this. Like, I'm clumsy. I will kill myself inadvertently. And I was like, it's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen in China. But this is what I was telling y'all. So when we got to China, right, I was walking around all everywhere. And I was like, yo, my deodorant smells like powder. Why don't I just put the powder scent in places where like I would, want to be fresh. So I do that still to this day. I use deodorant like in various places.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I mean, well, because like who?
And you see that foolishness you were talking about the Great Wall? Look at Greta Pilgrim.
What?
Wow, that sounds scary.
It was.
It was not.
Yes, it was.
It was not.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Baby.
It was really like, I was like, I'm not doing this because y'all took Idris, and I was like, please God, bring him back in one piece. I was like, tiny ice stairs. Explain.
You know what?
No.
You're the same person who had problems with the toilet.
Because
a cultural difference.
They stole the toilet.
They did not.
And then it's like a group toilet paper roll.
It's a big roll that's outside of each individual
I'm
stall.
like, I need my
own. Have a big roll. You pull yours off and go in the stall and do your thing.
I didn't realize how much of an American I was until we went to China.
You're very American.
I was like, I need ice.
You're not a good traveler.
I need napkins.
Not a good traveler.
I need the toilet to meet my butt. Okay. Like this, I'm like, this is not working for me. Okay. And I was like, and honestly, I like Korean and Japanese food better. So I was like, oh my God. I was like, this food is all right. Yeah, I was like, can we go to Japan real quick so I can eat something? Is there an energy of anti-Blackness in China that you've experienced? I can only speak on the one time I went. I wouldn't say it's anti-Black, but there were people that were reaching out and trying to touch like my son's hair. And I was like, get out of here. I'm like, I don't care. Like if we're in a different country, like don't touch people you don't know.
I think that for us, the answer is a little complicated because most of the times when we were walking around China, we were walking around with our family members who are Chinese.
Right.
So that kind of would,
it was a buffer, but they would still be staring at us though.
No, they would be looking, but also like when we would go out to dinner and there's 100 of us meeting at a restaurant, right? 10 tables of 10. Restaurants in China are massive. And, almost always aunts and uncles and cousins were already there, and we arrived, and then they're jumping up and screaming and welcoming us, and everybody else in the restaurant is looking and smiling, and they're like, "Oh, that's nice." But it was never what are those Black people doing over there? It wasn't that, but I think that
This was, I mean, honestly,
this is because we were family.
Yeah, and this was the first time I think a lot of these people had actually seen a Black person like in real, we're in the same room. So they were just like, "Oh my God!"
When my husband and I went to Beijing for the Olympics in 2008, it was crazy because they were still getting used to seeing Black people roaming around, right? And there were significant numbers of Black folks there because it was the Summer Olympics. And my husband, we'd walk down the street near the Olympic stadiums and stuff, and they're screaming, "Kobe, Kobe!" And I was like, "Oh my God!"
First of all,
he's waving at them.
Y'all got the wrong.
He was waving, and then like if he was carrying something he'd bought or whatever, and they'd run up to him and they'd go, and he would hand me his stuff and he's signing. And I said, "Baby, what are you writing?" "Kobe."
Oh my God.
"You cannot sign." He
yes,
was like,
he can. He's like, if they're going to run up to me, I'll do whatever.
He said, "I am making them happy. I'm being a good ambassador. I'm smiling. I'm taking pictures with them. I'm signing Kobe's name."
You don't look like Kobe in any way, shape, or form.
But there is a Black man who is athletic. He's athletic.
Right.
And we're walking near the stadium and they see him and it's Kobe. And we would stare there for a half hour while people crowded around him.
There were people who were wanting to take pictures with Idris because, I mean, obviously you all know what Idris looks like. He's much fairer than I am, but they wanted to take a picture with him because I think somebody said they thought he was Jaden Smith.
I never heard that.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, okay. And he was, I mean, Idris is a nice person. So he was like, okay, take pictures, yay, whatever. And I was like, all right, that's enough.
But my uncle's wife, who at the time, she must have been like, I don't know, 80, 89, 90 years old, somewhere around there.
Oh, you mean smoking a cigarette on the low?
No, Assam.
Oh.
She was smiling at Idris and smiling at him, and she just kept smiling at him. And I asked her, I said, "Do you want to touch his hair?" And so my cousin translated. She's like, "Yes." So, but at least, she didn't reach out and touch it. But she was like, "He's so handsome." And she touched his hair, and then she's like, "So soft," in Chinese, right? In Cantonese, actually in Hakka, and they're translating. She's saying it's so soft. And then she just hugged him and kept kissing him because she thought he was so cute.
Well, he is really cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was another thing. Like they wanted to touch his hair. I think they just didn't know what it felt like. And so.
But I only let people in my family do it. There was no random strangers out there.
Yeah. The chick who was at that restaurant we ate at and you try to do all like this. And I was like, no, that's what I'm talking about. Don't do that, because you're going to draw back. You're going to be negative one hand.
Well, in the
touching my son.
In the documentary, so we were all with the 300 family members, and and two of the little cousins are twins. You remember those two little boys? Well, they're identical twins.
Okay, no.
And
there were a lot of babies there, so I don't remember.
They were Idris's age, and one of them in the documentary, you can see him doing like this. He's stretching. And he's trying to reach out to touch Idris's head, and his grandmother slaps his head down. She slaps it. He's like, oh.
I didn't see that. That is so funny.
It's hysterical.
Okay, the velvet voice. Yes, Idris is beautiful. Thank you. And can I ask who he's named after? Jazz drummer Idris Muhammad. Actually, yes, that's why I named Idris his name. It's not. I didn't name him after Idris Elba.
But he met Idris. You did write to Idris Elba.
I did, yeah. I mean, I met him. He's very nice. But I named Idris after a jazz musician.
And when I met Idris Elba, I told him my daughter wrote to you on MySpace about her son.
MySpace.
Yeah, but it was that long ago.
Do y'all remember
and Idris Elba and I became friends.
Do you all remember on MySpace when you would have like your top 8?
Top 8 what?
Like the top 8 like people, like your friends.
Hmm.
And then like you would switch them out and people would get all like, mad and stuff.
I didn't do MySpace.
No, you didn't do. No, I was like I hooked my MySpace up. I had like a little player. I had songs. I had my background was all man. It was killing MySpace. I don't even know how to log into it now.
Does it still exist?
It does, but it's like
somebody bought it and wasted a whole lot of money.
Well, they tried to so a few years ago, or maybe like 5 years ago, somebody bought MySpace, and the thought was they were going to rebrand it as like for musicians,
right?
And
it didn't work.
Yeah. Also, big up to Tom wherever you are. Tom was everybody's friend.
Who's Tom?
Tom is the guy who like started MySpace. And so when you would join MySpace, like he was your first friend. Like he'd be like this, when he'd be like this.
Oh Lord.
He was always looking over his shoulder like oh my God. Yes, you're right. My AMAC or AMAC. Yes, MySpace low-key taught everyone coding. That is true.
Hey Katisha.
Hi.
So that's Tisha, my husband's cousin.
Also, right around MySpace times. Oh, hold on. Fun fact. Justin Timberlake. I love Justin Timberlake. And another group owned MySpace. He's talented. I'm sorry.
No, he wasted his money.
Well, yeah. I don't really.
He had a lot to waste, but he wasted it.
I don't really mess with him now because his recent songs have been really whack. But when I have met him on a couple of occasions, he was really nice. And I really like his musical oeuvre. I even like NSYNC. I used to have an NSYNC keychain when I was in med school.
I never understood the wife though.
Here's what I don't understand with Justin Timberlake. Remember
the shot of when he was in
that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. So Justin Timberlake, he can sing and dance, and I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but his 2020 experience, the 2020 album was good. The first one. The second one was all right. But the tour, like the last stop was in Vegas, and they filmed the concert, and it was so good. Anyway, the point is that Justin Timberlake can dance and do everything else. And so he got with that woman. I don't remember her name. Anyway, they were on and off, and he kept getting caught up with like these black chicks. And I was like, come on, Justin, like just like we got love for you. Just come over.
Or somewhere out there he couldn't marry none.
Whatever. Hi, hold on. Somebody say hi. Hi, Natasha Chong. Hi from Jamaica. Hi. Jerry Gaber. Okay. You consider Justin Timberlake fine. I really liked him as an artist. Like, I really don't, he looks cool, I guess, but I really, really liked him as an artist. Like, I really get down with Justin Timberlake.
Natasha, where in Jamaica are you? Are you in Jamaica now?
Are you in Jamaica, Queens? I'm just kidding. You're probably not in Jamaica, Queens. What else was I gonna say? I forgot. So Justin Timberlake owns MySpace. Whatever. I don't care. I care, but
I don't care.
Also, sorry, Brandon. I didn't mean to dish your city because you're from Seattle. I've only really been there twice, and when I went, it was raining both times.
I've been to Seattle about 6 times, and it never rained. The weather was always good.
Yeah, well, my friend told me
I brought Seattle good weather.
My friend told me that I should come in the summertime.
I've been in the wintertime. Spring. I've been there various times.
But I don't know. I'm like, why would I come to Seattle in the summertime when I live in LA?
We used to go up there for WNBA games, the Sparks and the Seattle Storm.
Yeah. Well,
but I've been there other times too.
Right. Okay. Let me see if there's questions. Okay, so here are just some like generic questions that I can answer. Okay, so I can't tell if I have a brain problem or a mind problem. How can I figure that out? Well, I think a lot of us know like the brain is the organ and our mind is essentially what we consider our identity and our personality and how we think and how we communicate with other people. It's kind of hard to answer that question in that way because there are changes that can occur in the brain that can affect your mind. They're kind of very much intertwined. So some people here's a good example. when you're a psychiatrist and you take your boards, you have to also know some neurology and vice versa. So neurologists have to also learn some psychiatry in order to pass their board exam. So it's kind of, it's very much intertwined. Like if you have Alzheimer's, dementia, you can have like personality changes. So it's kind of, the mind and the brain are very, very closely connected.
I was going to ask for the definition of the problem. That helps explain whether it's a mind or a brain thing. Natasha, you're in Kingston now.
Oh, nice.
My family is in Kingston.
Okay, so Greta said, I used to like Justin Timberlake. Back to more important things. I used to like Justin Timberlake until that whole Les Moonves scandal broke out. Didn't Les Moonves like?
Okay, finish.
Okay, how he kissed Moonves's behind and threw Janet Jackson under the bus.
That's the Moonves scandal.
Okay, here's my thing with the Janet Jackson thing. Now, who of us really thought that was an accident?
That wasn't an accident. It
wasn't an accident. Janet Jackson, I love you. I don't want to see your claw titty. Okay. I don't want to see like whatever it was. It was wild. Did you see that? She has like I'm saying she has a piercing. Oh. And so there was like
was it drooping? It was snagged on?
No. It was like she wanted it on there. So you had to put like the little metal thing on first. Then you put the piercing in to hold it. I don't know. I don't have nipple piercings. I don't know what that life is about. Anyway, it was planned. Thank you, Ashante Miles. It was planned. This was my whole thing, right? Janet Jackson was in on it as much as Justin Timberlake was. Like,
he didn't cop to it.
Well, I mean, he's a white person.
Well, there you go.
Okay. I mean, I thought it was whack, but I mean, I wouldn't have expected him to behave any differently.
Now see, your generation looks at it that way. My generation is, what are you, a black girl, doing dancing on stage with some white boy
with a claw titty?
And he's a part of, and he pulled out my thing about myself. And
right.
It's like, I don't know, respect, pride. Does anybody remember slavery and how we were owned and who did what to us? This is all the stuff about how did you agree to being on stage with some white boy and have your breast exposed? What was that? I'm
more concerned about what's up with this claw on your titty.
And I'm saying that's a generational difference. My generation is like, oh, so now your ancestors, none of that matters. You just gonna go out there and do that because you can hop around to a rhythm and a beat with the white boy who learned all his moves from the black people.
I mean, okay.
Okay. I mean, that's what I said. It's a whole different, I'm like, I don't even want to hear it.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just like, I'd say Justin Timberlake on face value. So, I mean, I was not surprised. So I was like, okay, well, I still like you, Justin Timberlake. And he came out with more music that sounded really good. His recent stuff is pretty whack though. It's like, for kids or I don't know. Okay. So AMAC says, I was always skeptical of psychiatry, mainly because of the medicinal factor and big pharma. Also thinking they didn't do much talk therapy. Is it common for psychiatrists to focus less on talk therapy? Okay, so let me explain to you what happened. So what happened was let's say back in the 70s and 80s, if you were a resident training in psychiatry, residents actually used to have to be in therapy. Because the focus back then was more, medicine, sure, but psychotherapy was still, very much used. Now, once you got into the whole HMO thing, right, insurance companies basically were like, well, it's cheaper for the for the psychologists or licensed social workers to do therapy. We just want to have the psychiatrists deal with the medicine. So when I was trained, were we, taught certain modalities of therapy? Yeah. But overall, I was used to say this at the time, I was like, I'm a walking prescription pad. Like, I know how to like fix things and, look for stuff other people don't necessarily see. So here's what I would say. Psychotherapy is still used. You really have to basically ask the psychiatrist that you want to see. I'm primarily somebody who doesn't really do therapy like that because the patients I see are very ill. So I'm the person that I'm more so a medication management person, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, it really depends on on what you're into. I do have colleagues that do use psychotherapy a lot more. But I'm someone who I do more so medication management. So anyway, let me just see what else we have. If I engage a mental health service provider, I'm likely to receive a diagnosis of mental disorder and be labeled in a certain way. How should I think about that label? Okay, I'm gonna tell you. I have depression and anxiety, and I'm really happy that I got labeled with that because then I could get help and now I feel better. I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's like, look, some people are diabetic. Some people have, acid reflux. Some people have, irritable bowel syndrome. Like, I understand the stigma associated with mental disorders and mental illness, but until you
get away from it.
Yeah, until you know what you have. Like, I was happy to find out what I had. I mean, I knew what I had. I just didn't want to admit it. But I knew what I had. I was just happy that I got the chance to be labeled so that I could actually feel better. And now I feel better. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of you have to conceptualize it in a different way. We all have something.
It also depends on who's in your circle and how they are treating you,
Mm-hmm.
And if they're making fun of you or belittling you because you have a diagnosed illness,
yeah,
you probably want to drop them.
Yeah. I mean, plus don't be around anybody that's gonna steal your shine. Who was it? Bye Natasha Chong. Have fun in Kingston and please stay safe and wear your mask.
My family's up in Mona.
What's that?
I just said that. In Kingston. It's a part of Kingston.
Oh, I'm never, honestly, I've really only been to Kingston like twice. I haven't really spent a lot of time in Kingston. I think I'm mostly I've just been in Montego Bay and stuff.
Tourism stuff.
Well, no. That's where a lot of the clubs are. So I would go there and then I would wait for the jerk chicken man to come and I would eat things. I would eat that and then I would go find the sugarcane man, smash that, and then go back to the hotel. So whatever, you don't know my life. Sean Upshaw, this is a good question. Do you agree that your friend or friends should be a reflection of you? Why don't you answer that question?
A reflection of me. Well, only in that they would have respect for themselves and they don't have to be like me. No, I have friends who are not like me. But I wouldn't want to be friends with somebody whose behaviors were going to embarrass me or violate my sense of principle.
Yeah.
Then you can't be my friend.
I had a friend back in the day. I'm not going to say this person's name, but I mean, I knew him for a long time and he was a really good friend of mine, but he had this really bad drinking problem. And you know how some people drink and they turn into different people. It was like that. And I mean, like I said, I've known him for a long time, but eventually I was like, I can't, that's it. I was like,
you spoke to him about
it. Yeah. I was like, I can't rock with you. You're a menace when you drink. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to drink this real quick. It was like, and I was like, okay, I can't be around you. So, to my mom's point, I mean, no, all my friends are not like me. I definitely try to be around people that I enjoy and who, have things going on. But, once you make me feel like I need to stop speaking to you, you're embarrassing, then I can't be around you. Hello.
Stephanie
Coleman said, hello, as Black peoples, don't you think we have to watch those labels? No. I think that's really kind of at the crux of the issue. If we don't talk about it, then we're not going to be able to get information about it. We're not going to learn about it. We're not going to get treated for it. And, you know, people are still going to be on some like, oh, well, I'll just pray it away like that. You can pray and take medication at the same time.
I want to tell the Velvet Voice. She says, my family is from Clarendon and Maypen. So our family is also from Clarendon. They're from Moko and Pusey.
I don't know what that is.
That's where we're from.
Pusey.
Pusey. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We are the Lloyds and the Browns. Some of them are even in Brownstown.
I don't know what that is.
She says, I'll have to check with my mom. That's who we are.
So Amasi also wrote, if you haven't already, can you do a podcast episode or segment on premenstrual dysphoric disorder and its effect on mental health? I'm not diagnosed, but definitely believe I deal with PMDD by monitoring each of my menstrual cycles. Yeah, I can definitely discuss it with the producers. I have it. It's way better now. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I am a psychiatrist. I knew what was wrong with me. But even I was like, nah, I'm cool. You know, like I'm gonna just, you know, work out a lot. I'm gonna just do things to increase my serotonin. When ultimately, like somebody asked us earlier, like they said that they're on Zoloft.
That was TP.
But
right.
I talk about Prozac a lot. No, listen, if you're taking something that works for you, then it works for you.
Right.
Prozac works for me.
Right.
Like, don't, you know, be like, oh, I heard it is good. I heard that works. So let me see what's up with that. No, like that's not how it works. So just stay, if you're good, stay on that.
Different chemical compositions, different people's bodies.
Right, exactly. I mean, and plus I have cousins who take like different medications than me, but you know, it works. That works for them. This works for me. That's all I can really say.
Caden Grayson, does beating and cussing at a child have a psychological effect on them?
Yes.
It's a bad psychological effect on them. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah, like I haven't ever had to like spank Idris. Like I'm just like, listen, you messing up or whatever. And honestly, all Idris wants to do is like, he just wants to chill out. Like he just doesn't want any smoke. So he just like, whatever, like that's fine. Just leave me alone. So you just leave me alone.
My friend Pat and I were on Amtrak going up to Poughkeepsie out of New York one time. And when we got off the train, there was a woman who had 3 children with her.
What was she?
She was Black.
Okay.
One child was in a stroller. So let's say that child was probably about 8 or 9 months old. There was another child, a little boy, who was walking maybe 2 feet in front of the stroller, off to the side, right? And he was just happily walking along. And the mother said, "Get your black back here. Who the do you think you are?" And she started, "You ain't shit." And she's saying this to this child. And Pat and I stood there.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
And I mean, everything was in my throat because I wanted to say, "Sis, don't talk to your child."
Don't do that.
But you can't say that.
Right.
Right. And I thought to and that little boy who moments before had been kind of walking along happily singing, you saw his whole body just sort of crumble. And I you know, that's abuse.
Yeah, that's abuse.
That is abuse. I mean, no, we didn't see her hit him. She might, she might not, but that child is an abused child.
Yeah.
You shouldn't speak to your children.
Yeah, that's not
that
cool.
way. And I'm not suggesting, by the way, that you are. What I'm saying is that there are ways to communicate with children just as there are ways to communicate with adults. And many of us have been raised with getting a slap or getting a beating or all of that. And it doesn't help.
It didn't help. I used to get slapped all the time. I said, and you know, you get slapped and you can still feel the hand on your face. Why are you looking at me like I'm crazy? You did. Anyway.
You're dreaming.
I'm not.
You are dreaming.
I'm really not.
You got slapped in the face by me?
Are you serious?
Are you serious?
Yes, very much. One time I remember I was like, my hair was longer and I was doing like, I was putting it perm in my hair. And I did something wrong. And you would slap me and I had this perm in my hair for like 30 minutes. So I was like, not only did I get slapped, now I have like scars on my scalp.
How old were you?
Like 16. It's funny the things that you forget.
I guess so.
Yeah, no,
but I know at 16 you were hell.
First of all, I was okay, fine. So I cannot believe.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I do. Okay. So anyway, somebody asked the question. Oh, Sean Upshaw, said, this is my last question. Do you think the practice of pray it away within the Black community contributed significantly to the hesitancy of seeking help? Yeah, to an extent, because I don't want to put this all on us, because let's think about, why did we beat our kids, or, collectively, because we were beat as slaves. Why, and why did we hesitate to ask for help as far as medicine? Because we were oftentimes like doctors' guinea pigs back in the day. So I don't want to put it all on us. I get it. I guess what I'm saying is, at this point, at this juncture right now, we have the ability to change the trajectory of that. So.
And Tisha says, some people in my industry, federal government, won't say anything or seek help because if they get labeled, they'll lose their livelihood. They suffer in silence and pray it away. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. But that's the point about, for those of us who are able to talk about it out loud, then we should, because the stigma doesn't extend. If you had a broken leg or a sprained ankle, no one would say,
be like, what's wrong with you? Why can't you run today?
Right. And it has to eventually be considered an illness, not a thing that you whisper about, and
not a character flaw,
and hope the saints and angels come and do something about it, because that's not going to happen.
Also, maybe the saints and angels want you to take some medication. Maybe that's what does it say?
Does intercourse have an effect on your mental state?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's good, it can make you smile.
If it's bad, it can make you not smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does have something to do with whether or not, by the way, you are a willing participant in it. If you're not a willing participant, it's called rape.
Well, right. There's that aspect too. Okay, here's the thing. I'm hungry. I'm about to make some chili. Okay. So
we have gumbo at home.
Congratulations. I'm going to make some chili.
My husband made gumbo.
Yes. Okay, great. I'm going to go cook. You guys have a great Monday, great week. We'll see you next week.
Isn't HIPAA supposed to protect your privacy?
Yes, it does. Yes. Faith without works is dead. If you need medication for an illness, that does not mean you cannot pray it away. Yeah.
And Zahida says she made chili yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Maybe next week Idris will be back.
Maybe, or not, because he's got a new monitor and he's like, whatever. I'm not doing this no more. He's in
gaming world.
Yeah. Okay. Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
Shirley. Have a great week too, everybody.
Okay. Bye.